All you shameless people, we are back talking the premiere of season 7 and all of the crazy shit that's to come. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
We're back, guys!
Yay!
And I can tell we're hyped for this season. We are ready to go.
You know, it came back earlier than ever expected.
Yeah.
It
But
was
we're
very
here.
premature, and here we are. Guys, welcome back. We have a new panelist joining us this year.
And it is our very first AfterBuzz show, so we are popping her cherry with the Shameless after show.
I'm very, very proud. Thank you for having me.
Juliet, tell everybody who you are and where they can find you on social
You
media.
can find me at Bonjour Juliet, and yeah, that's my name.
Awesome.
Because she's French, by the way, if you didn't get that.
It's very sexy. I like it. You'll have to teach us some French along the way
Yeah,
here.
we will.
Okay. Phil, everybody knows you, but let's hear it again. Where can they find you?
Just right here on the Shameless After Show.
What's your social media handle? You've got good stuff to say.
You know what? No, I usually don't, but at PD Svitek.
JJ, my
Hey
girl.
guys, I'm at JJ Jurgens.
Woohoo. No Jurgens, JJ.
No, well on Instagram it is now JJ.Jurgens.
Guys,
Just for you, just for you.
you.
I've only changed it once, only because of this smartass.
Hey guys, I am Hayley Clover. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Hayley Clover. We have so much to talk about.
Ooh, boy,
Pretty
do we.
light episode for Shameless starting out. We said that they started us off with some fun, some cute moments. We haven't delved deep into the moments that are going to make us cry just yet.
I think, yeah, they kind of tease us into it, and then by episode 6, we're just all crying.
Yeah.
It's never good.
What did you guys think overall of how this season started? Were you happy about it?
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was a great first episode back. I like how we kind of get caught up with everybody. We get little bits of each of their stories. I thought it was just back in the same form that it's always been. I'm excited for the season.
It was a lot of fun. However, I could see, like, again, because they've conditioned me in this way and because we're coming back in earlier, I can just tell all the things that are going to go wrong.
Oh, for sure.
And just even with the finances, with Kevin V, and then just various things, it's not going to be good.
Juliet, your first impression, since people don't know your opinion about everybody yet. What did you think?
I was just really excited for this season, and yeah, I think they teased a lot of great stuff, and I'm excited.
Yeah, so we see Frank starting off in this crazy water scene. And we said it was a good song.
Yeah, that song, by the way, because I Shazammed it, is The Fugitive Kind by the Trigger Code. In case you guys were wondering.
It was cool.
It was
a lot
awesome.
of weird things show up in that water, though, like the baby on the umbilical cord.
Yeah.
A little weird, but it was obviously his dream in his coma. The best part was obviously the fish giving him a blowjob.
And I think what was hilarious about that is because, we watch it with subtitles here as we're watching, and the subtitles was, humming continues.
Yeah.
And that was pretty perfect.
That's amazing. And the nurse, we said they always cast really good little roles, and she was hysterical.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he thinks the fish is giving him a blowjob. It's the nurse at the hospital giving him a sponge bath until he wakes up and she freaks
John
out.
Doe is awake.
Yeah.
He was awake.
So, did you guys think at the end of last episode that he was dead? I mean, or that he was
No.
coming back?
He's
Or
never
how,
gonna die.
how did you think that he was coming back?
I didn't expect for him, honestly, to be in a coma for 29 days. I figured, just knowing Frank, he probably washed ashore a little bit further down the way. So I didn't know. I actually thought we might be a little further along than just 29 days when this picked back up this season.
Yeah,
You can't kill Frank. You just can't.
Yeah.
that's true. I agree with that. I didn't think that he was going to be, I didn't think that was like serious. I thought they threw him in the water and he'd eventually, end up somewhere, swim his way out. So that was a good little twist because I didn't expect it. But we said the biggest problem starting out is that they're asking him for his name because they couldn't identify him because they need to bill somebody. And I immediately said, who is he leaving the bill with? Because we never saw him actually give his name. Any thoughts on that?
It just depends in the moment who he hated, right? Because, I mean, in hindsight, if he could go back in there, I think he would have said Kevin V and those guys because they're the ones who threw him in the water. Now, he didn't know that then, so, maybe it's the lesbians. I don't know. That's how we bring
You
them
wanted
back
to
in.
be the lesbians.
You know what?
The
They're affluent, so why not?
Okay. Anyone else have a prediction or a guess?
I don't know, and I don't know if we will know. I don't know if it was just a thing where he just bailed and that's never going to be actually brought back up again.
That's true.
Yeah, because who's going to force him to pay it?
Yeah, I
if he
feel like-
ran out of there,
Yeah.
Well, right. That's true.
you know, what are they going to be like? Well, we don't know his name.
Right.
Yeah.
You think that would
Might
ever
try
happen
tracking-
in a real hospital?
I'm sure it does. Just like
Sure
people
they
walk
try.
away.
I'm sure they try.
Have you ever seen there's like people who are found in the street with like their gowns and they're just like dropped
And you
off.
think that's why?
Well, it is pretty ridiculous, the price of, you know,
Well, right,
my brother's kid was in the
$150,000.
NICU for, how do you say that?
NICU, yeah.
For, and it's just amazing how it racks up and racks up, you
That's
know?
true.
So I
It is
know,
crazy.
yeah.
Especially when you're not given a choice. Like, I mean, now, granted, like, you know, Frank
could
obviously
die.
wants to live.
Yeah.
Even when he's unconscious, but yeah, you're not necessarily like, oh, can you go ahead and sign for this bill? It's like,
Yeah.
no, I never agreed to this, but at the same time, it's the only way to stay alive. So
Yeah, very true. Well, Debbie, someone who agreed to having her child, now we see her right in the beginning of the episode deciding that she's not a good mother and that she should be leaving Franny somewhere.
by doing this, that's literally the definition that defines her as a bad mother. Leaving the
Yes.
child in front of what could have been a drive-by.
Yeah, I think
That
that's...
stopped my heart. Right when I saw that, I was like, please don't take this any further than it needs to go. I was like, please go back and get the baby. I did not want them to run over that baby. I would have lost it.
That would have been beyond shameless.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have... Yeah. That would not have been a great way to kick off the season.
Right.
I thought maybe it would have been at Caleb's fire station, and like Caleb would have been like, "What's Ian's whatever niece doing here?"
Right.
And then just brought it back.
Yeah.
It would have been a weird conversation in that regard. But
He's got some problems of his own coming up, which
I don't know if he has problems
he might have some problems with Ian.
eventually.
But we'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's talk about Debbie turning her baby into a business.
I gotta admit, when she first stole it, I was happy for her because, like we said, all said when we were watching about that lady, we're like, bitch, you know? Like, so it was like, okay, it was kind of okay that she stole the first one.
Why was the woman bitchy?
Because she was a teen mom.
Yeah,
I think she
and
was
she was-
just like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like, I'm better than you.
Yep.
I had my baby with a man that has money.
And I'm gonna talk to the other older women over here.
Right.
Yeah. She was frowning upon her.
By the way, has anyone actually seen that bassinet
Stroller?
or whatever it's called on the
How much was
streets
that again?
anywhere?
No.
$4,000.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Like, please.
That's ridiculous.
That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
That is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm not paying for that.
No.
Not
I
at all.
love that she had the idea to sell it on Craigslist.
I mean, that's a car, you know? $4,000.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could buy a car
Yeah.
for $800.
Yeah.
Like the highest priced
Yeah.
carriage should be that $800. It should not be $4,000.
The worst part about this entire situation, or it's not the worst part, but they make it funny by having 100 of those carriages everywhere now in this park. Like, that's obviously not a realistic thing. I don't think these things are just everywhere.
But this is where my mind goes. Like, I thought she stole the credit cards and things like that. She should have learned from Frank at this point that we need to convert these into Visa debit gift cards. Leave no traces. The fact that we're ordering pizza on this crap and
Yeah.
everything else, it's just a bad sign, and she's going to end up in jail or something worse.
Right.
And I don't like
Agree.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dumb choice.
And how did that lady not cancel her credit cards already?
Yeah, that's the...
And
Yeah.
who carries their credit cards like that? Is that like a real thing? I had so many problems
not a
with
mother?
that lady. I had so
Yeah.
many problems. Yeah, but I have a mother, and she's never had a crazy list of credit
Yeah.
cards. Is that even smart? Financially responsible? I don't know.
Well, I wanted to, so actually, Juliet, in anticipation of the show, was kind of telling me about Debbie, and I thought it was an interesting point how she viewed Debbie in terms of wanting to have the kid, because it's something that we debated, and you know me, I was like, always, this is the world's dumbest decision.
Right,
Why
me
is this
too.
kid like?
And you wanted her to have the baby?
No, I didn't want her to have the baby. But I understood why she wanted the baby. It makes sense, like just the way she grew up, and she wants love. She wants something permanent, and so I think that's what makes sense for her. She's like, oh, I want to be an adult. I want to have some kind of stability.
Right.
I want to be a mom. I want to be powerful. So that's what it is. But in this episode, her baby's like her hobby now. You know, she's like, I want it, I don't want it. Oh, we can make money off of like, and then she has her friends and she has her night nurse. Like, it's her hobby.
Right.
She doesn't want to be a mom. She just wants to keep on going. I don't even know what she wants.
Well, that was the telling thing for me when the night nurse is like, the baby hasn't slept all night. She's like, oh, okay, don't worry. It's like, you've completely stopped caring about this kid whatsoever.
And she's like, smells like somebody needs a clean diaper. Like that little nod on her way up the stairs.
You're right. And the night nurse was horrified because the first thing she sees is Fiona dragging Frank down the stairs by his feet.
Which was incredible. When she
Amazing.
pushed him down the steps, that was awesome.
Now, I didn't do the math on it either, but, you know, even if you're making this kind of money, eventually at $20 an hour, pretty much 24 hours a day, if this is what you're going to do,
Runs out real quick.
you know, it's short-lived. Let's start building this kid's college fund or something. I don't know.
Right.
And let's talk about this school. There's so many girls knocked up. So many.
I had a couple problems with the school today. That's one big one, especially because some of them are still pregnant. Some have their kids in school. And then my other problem was when Carl went to the bathroom, there were 1,000 kids in the bathroom. I'm sorry, but that would never happen.
I agree. It was like they were waiting for lunch. There was like, but that's like, there were so many people. It was
kids lining up for the urinal, and then he had 100 dicks to look at.
Yeah. He did, but he made eye contact with the one. Yeah, buddy.
I thought he was going to get beat up.
Yeah, same.
As opposed to the wink.
Yeah.
But the wink was pretty cool, though. It was a good little...
Yeah. Well, so let's just dive right on into Carl.
I cannot wait for this.
For those of you who had watched last season, I tend to ask Phil personal questions about his man parts. And that's because he's the only man on this panel, and so when I have questions, I have to go to you.
Can we, Steve Egbert, please call Steve Howie right now. Let's get him on the line.
Right. So Carl finds out that there's something really weird with his penis because he's uncircumcised. But the only reason he finds that out is because Dominique won't go down on him. She won't give him a blowjob because she thinks it's really weird and kind of scary because it has a lot of extra skin. Poor kid.
Poor kid.
But talk about
everyone else in his family's circumcised.
Everyone in his family, even Liam, is circumcised. So somehow they were probably high or something when they had this kid and just skipped over him, forgot to do it. So we asked Phil, naturally, is he circumcised or uncircumcised?
Well, because both of us, let's share here, have never actually seen one in person.
No.
So that started this conversation.
It's rare.
So Phil showed us. Just kidding. But Phil did admit.
Phil?
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
side with Carl. Hashtag I'm with Carl.
Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. We're not laughing because we think it's weird. We're just laughing because of just the awkward situation of him being my boss and talking about his penis.
You know, it's. I don't know.
Have you ever had any problems with it? Let's just talk about that. Let's be honest here.
And what's your
Has there
routine? Do
ever
you
been-
clean it all the time?
Do you have a wait? Hold on. Oh no. You cannot have moldy foreskin, I think is the term that was used today.
I believe I don't have moldy foreskin.
Thank God.
That is correct.
No, but seriously, in all honesty, if you feel comfortable sharing, has there ever been an issue if you're with a girl and somebody said like, "Whoa," or like, "I'm sorry, I'm not comfortable"? Yeah, you share.
Be sure. The only time it becomes uncomfortable is now. Apparently, this is like, you know, on like whether it's Shameless. There's a couple of other TV shows that have kind of ran the premise, and then it kind of makes you question of like, am I fucked up?
No, you're not.
No,
The answer is no.
I didn't think so. But then you watch a show like Shameless, and then but here's the thing. You know what? Confirmed. I'm like, okay, I may be fucked up, but I'm not. Like when he's having the surgery, this is gonna lead to so many problems. When that piece of like whatever it is bacon,
Oh, God.
it was. You know, I don't need that in my like. I'd rather take my chances the way I am than go through that.
And if you listen to Frank, he had a list of compliments about an uncircumcised penis. It's, what did he say? It's natural lubrication. There's more sensitivity.
Pleasure, yeah.
I mean, you might be on the correct side of things here, and everybody else just screwed up.
There you go.
There you go.
I guess as a child, I just didn't like the idea of anyone doing anything down there.
Well, I don't think you had a choice.
Hashtag penis lives matter.
Penis head lives matter.
That's right. So there you go. I you know, and
Thank you for that.
but here's okay. But in terms of the show, what I'm worried about is like, what disease is this poor kid gonna get? And
Now,
then is it more messed up? And now Dominique's never gonna go down on him. That's right.
Okay,
And then his the 30 seconds is gonna last 10 seconds.
I don't know what it is with me today and all of these technicalities. It's a TV show, I get it, but he would need parental consent to just walk into a hospital and get a circumcision.
Okay, that was not the cleanest hospital in the world. You understand?
Doctor was a little questionable as well. A little not senile, but a little.
And he's clearly paying with it in cash.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as long as it's in cash, it's all good.
Oh God! And he's gonna have stitches for 4 days. He can't get an erection for 4 days. Maybe that's the issue. Maybe he gets so excited that he has an erection first, and then the stitches pop, and then it gets all gross and
And infected. And,
yeah. I was just glad to see that they put him under some kind of anesthetic, because when babies are circumcised, they just do it quickly and the baby doesn't get any kind of medicine, obviously. And I guess I didn't really know whether whether you needed to be totally awake for something like that or whatever. So I was glad to see
I'd be drunk, anesthesia, don't know.
Give me whatever you got.
Probably for the next 4 days, because the pain afterwards, I'm sure, is not good.
He was walking around pretty funny.
Yeah. Oh boy. So we'll see what happens with Carl's pee-pee next week.
This is Dominique's fault.
Yeah, it really
This is Dominique's fault. We're gonna flip this on her.
So what do you think about her? Because we didn't know whether they would stay together, if they'd be a real relationship. What do you think about them two having, now sex on a regular basis?
I thought she was a more decent woman than she is, but apparently she's done this more than once. And you know what? Now I trust her less.
I agree. In the beginning, I thought they presented her to us as very wholesome and daddy's girl, and not really been out there too much. But clearly, she's
just needed to get it once, and she's in there.
Well, no, she said she's given,
right.
She didn't have sex, but she was free with the BJs before, and so I don't think she's. I don't know. So I don't know that even after he does all this, I feel like she might break his heart or something.
Or his penis.
Or that.
Yeah, that too. But talk about dedication, though. That boy really, really likes her. Or really wants blowjobs. Oh.
Right. Well, has he had one before? That's a very good point.
I don't think he has, right? Because that's that we've been introduced to. That's the first.
Exactly. Yeah. So that is a big deal for him, especially now that he's been, giving her all the goods. But again, you can say good for her, because she's just been taking it all and enjoying herself.
Lucky lady.
Right. All right. So we'll see what happens with those two young and crazy kids. We have Fiona running the diner now. Mm-hmm. No sign of Sean. I don't know if he'll ever come back to the good old diner.
He's got a new show. I doubt it.
Yeah. Oh, that's really too bad. He's so hot.
Yeah, but it would lead to no good.
I know. Yeah, I don't want him back now, too, the way he left.
So she's running this place, and it's totally chaotic. And there's, as much as she's trying her best, which I think she's doing a pretty good job with what she's got, no one's committed to that place. No one can even stay for their full shift. No one's bussing tables. The busser is also the cook, who's also, the whatever.
The woman showed dedication, though. She's like, I super glue it. I'll be all right. Yeah. It's dedication right there to the job.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, no. Get yourself to urgent care.
Yeah.
Yeah. They needed help for sure, and Fiona does get a raise, which is good. It's supposed to help her get back to her waitressing, money that she made, her big bucks anyway. And so hopefully that helps them a little bit. But she's working like crazy hours. What did she say? 6 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think we see her really now getting her life back, taking, being done with the guys for a while. Like she started to make Deb's bed and do all that stuff, and then she put it all back, and I think by having the guts to ask when he said 50-cent raise to $1, I think she's trying to she's got her warrior tattoo now. I
thought that was the dumbest.
Yeah, the blue hair.
Dumbest tattoo of all time, by the way.
How long is this gonna last, though? That's what I'm worried about.
Well, and I'm thinking this new guy was the new guy. There's got to be a new guy at some point.
Well, I look at you measure her to lip, and in that respect, right? Immediately he's like, okay, I've got my set of rules, but I'm still drinking. And so with her, she's got her set of rules, but how long before she goes into that realm?
Right. Well, and so Lip gets a job. Fiona gives him a job as a dishwasher because he's out of rehab. Out of AA. He did do the 30 days. We were left with that hanging at the end of last season, so we didn't know whether he was going to actually finish or not. And the professor's there to pick him up. Their relationship's kind of mended, I would say now, or at least better than where it was. And he's going to help him find an internship, but in the meantime, he needs to make some money so that he can actually, survive. So he's a dishwasher, guys. Smart Lip is washing dishes.
And no more school after all that.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that part of it. I just think, again, his choices now after the fact.
So yeah, let's talk about his drinking a little bit. He's got all these chips, and he uses the chips to order his drinks after 7 p.m. He doesn't drink until 7, but then it's like 1 chip's a shot, 1 other chip's like 3 beers and whatever. So he's still drinking a lot. But he has a water with him, and he was testing himself to see if he was drunk. I mean, is it responsible of him, or is it just him thinking it's responsible?
Well, when you have an alarm set on your phone that tells you you're allowed to drink at 7, I don't think it's responsible.
Good point.
I think it's no different than what Frank has done his whole life, right? How many times have we talked about Frank and the speeches that he gives and how they're very coherent and whatnot, articulated and so forth. But you're trying to fool other people, but ultimately you're just trying to fool yourself. And I think that by this rule set, he's only trying to fool himself that he's not an alcoholic. When just like Frank, just admit you have a problem, because you do. Yeah. And if he continues this way, and I've said this on last season, he's going to become Frank. And that is the scariest thing I've ever.
Yeah. It's so true, because Frank is so smart. We say it over and over again that he's like the smartest idiot we've ever seen.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I don't want to see Lip go down that path.
I don't either.
That's why, oh my God.
You know, but I'm also upset with Kev V and Svetlana. They should have said like no. Well,
right. I mean, that comes into a point where they have been, an older brother-sister figure for all of these kids, and they should have, noticed that there was some kind of responsibility there to take. But they're dealing with their own love triangle, co-parenting, financial advisor relationship.
That's the best relationship to have.
I would love to be a fly on the wall when they're taping those scenes. They're hysterical, and they're all so good.
There's
so
no
good.
Ah, man. Well, we've talked about it with Steve Howie, who hopefully we'll have back on, but he's just committed.
He's so committed, and I think he's probably the exact same
in
type
life.
of person in real life. Well, we know he's like very similar to his character, maybe not the decisions that his character makes, but his personality and how he was trying to feed the baby. I picture him feeding his child like that. Open. And the 3 of them, they're clearly all still having sex. We have Svetlana and V now rock, paper, scissoring to literally rock, paper, scissoring to have sex with Kevin. Do you think that was a little odd, though, that like Svetlana, or not Svetlana, V's like, no, I'll fight you to have sex with my own husband?
Yeah, I mean, because, I still, as much as I love all this and it's so fun to watch, so I enjoy the storyline, but yeah, I still root for Kevin V just to be, together in a solid relationship. So yeah, I don't want to just dismiss him too much.
Right.
I'm worried. I don't know. I don't like it at all.
No?
No.
Why?
At first I thought it was really funny, but the rock, paper, scissors thing.
Yeah, that was just...
Have you always liked Kevin V? Like, because, I mean, we've talked about it before, and they've sort of been our rock and whatnot. And...
Yeah.
Ever since season 1, where his wife comes back, and then that whole speech, and he's like, you can't be doing this. Like, you have to be okay. Like, you can't be questioning us anymore. You just have to know that I love you at this point. And if you don't, then, like, the problem's on you. And I was like, the most beautiful scene, and meant a lot. And it's true in a lot of relationships, that's what it is. Like, you need to put trust in the other person. If you don't, like, just walk away. Like, what are you doing? Makes no sense.
Yeah, it's very true. Mm-hmm. I think they kind of just got into a point where they've been together so long, and then they had kids, and they just needed something new, and this was like fun and new, and they both enjoyed it. It's not on either one of them. I mean, they both loved it.
It's too long. Like, time to move on. Like, have your fun. I get it. You got your kids. Yeah, I need to spice things up, but like, this is becoming
a thing.
Another partner in your family. You're someone else in your family.
They're polyamorous. Isn't that the term? Polyamory is when, I think so.
Polygamy?
No, there's this whole show called Polyamory or Polyamorous, and it's about these people that are together, but then they mutually have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, or they're in these like polyamorous groups, and they all kind of date each other, but there's one specific person that they're connected to at first.
Okay.
I won't get into it too much. They're just all fucking each other.
As long as, I mean, you know, Svetlana, what makes it tough to, like, because you can look at it and just be like, okay, this is weird, but the fact that she's helping out so much and continues to just have such a value beyond just sex, it makes it very difficult. And it's like, okay, if she's going to help us with our finances and really get us out of whatever we're in, you know, how do you kick that out?
And who knew she was a math? There you go.
They're bringing up the definition of polyamory for me so that I don't look like a total idiot. And it's the philosophy or state of being in love and romantically involved with more than one person at the same time.
There you go.
So that's it. That is the definition of their relationship. But yeah, like you were saying, she has so much more value than just sex, and now it's her crazy mathematical brain. She's very good with numbers, and the guys at the bar are throwing her random numbers to multiply, which was a really cute scene. Yeah, and she's going to help him out, hopefully make more money at the Alibi. No.
That would be great.
Good new job. We'll see. I don't know if that place really can make more money. They give out so much alcohol.
They made a lot of money last time when remember they were like the
hipster bars.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's true.
It's doable.
That's true. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so let's talk about Ian and Caleb's relationship. You two talk about what you first said, because your first reaction at this first scene with them was a little different than my reaction. So talk about that a little bit.
You said what you...
Okay. I just said it felt a little forced. You know, I thought, especially with out of any relationships, they were a good couple. I didn't need sort of anything there. I think we could have given Ian something else to deal with in life. It didn't have to be a relationship problem. But apparently 50% of all gay men cheat, which is why I don't date gay men. So that's what we learned
the
tonight.
only reason.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, and I agreed. I just thought it didn't fit for me as much as the rest of the whole big picture of everything. And it just...
Did you like them last season, though?
I did. Yeah, I was a fan of their relationship. Yeah, I just I thought this was kind of a big... If it's only 29 days later, I thought it was just kind of a big twist to make the way their relationship was going.
Here's kind of right, and you guys can... We talk a lot of fans are like, where's Ian and Mickey, right? And so if they're trying to, as the writers are trying to make this relationship kind of be for the fans, doing this is not helping that cause.
No.
I mean, what was your guys' stance on Ian and
Mickey.
Love them.
Yeah, we love them. I mean, it was like so passionate. I never thought it was a healthy relationship, and I'll probably get a ton of comments about how I'm wrong about that. But, you know, it was a very, like, abusive, loving relationship. They would totally abuse each other verbally, sometimes physically, and then they'd make up and have this passionate sex and have this passionate, you know, few weeks or whatever. And but, of course, we loved that. I mean, as fans, it was just so
It was
deep
twisted.
and twisted. Yeah, for sure.
Beating the shit out of each other and then...
Right,
Yeah.
and then totally getting into it at the baseball field and the dugout. You know, it was spontaneous and fun, and that was really before we saw Ian too deal with. That was towards the end of their relationship when he started dealing with all of his bipolar issues. So we saw a different side of him as well before we ever got into any of those issues. So I think a lot of that too might be us yearning for that side of him coming back. I don't know. I didn't mind Caleb and Ian. I was happy to see him happy, and I think it helped him. I think the purpose of Caleb was to help him get a good job. I don't know if it's necessarily if he needs to have him anymore.
But then they got to still work together, and I don't know. It's going to get messy.
Yeah, I just wanted him to be in a real healthy relationship.
Did you expect Caleb to be bisexual when all of this stuff was going on? Like him talking about going to dinner? I kind of believed him that he was just going to dinner with his prom date.
I wanted to believe it, you know, but Ian also, you know, he does have that intuition, and so you kind of had to buy into it. And when they're looking down, there's Lip saying like, oh, you know, whatever, it's just a girl, at least it's not a guy, and immediately there's that crosstalk of V, and I forget what he says 100%, but like, why did it have to be a woman or something like that?
No, he says she better have a dick.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. You remember. So I don't know what, like, I don't know what's worse. Do you want him to cheat on with a girl, or do you like?
No, I think he wants him to cheat on him with a guy, because then there's less issues of dealing with like, why is he bisexual?
Right.
Why is he cheating on me with a girl? Why am I not enough as a guy? And now, you know, we see in scenes for next week, he's gonna try to experiment with that now, and it's clearly not in him at all. So yeah, it's just gonna be a weird, messy situation.
I really wanted to like Caleb.
What were your thoughts? Remember when he's questioning it before he finds out, and with that other woman and her story about how she met her husband?
Oh yeah, the other
The EMT.
EMT. Yeah, and she
Joe.
super glues his penis to his leg and writes slutty liar or slut liar or something like that on his chest.
And marries him.
He's
sounds
on
are
it. So
great.
good, yeah.
And then she marries him.
Yeah.
That was the greatest
was-
2-minute punchline ever.
That was
Beautiful
funny.
love story.
Yeah, definitely a great influence in Ian's life. Yeah, I mean, it was just, you know, throwing it in there because it was funny.
I just get hung up on the whole, the super glue on, you've got super glue stuck on your finger. I mean,
that
it
would
hurt.
freaking
Yeah,
hurt.
so it's like any guy that married her after.
I thought we were
they're
done with
just
penis talk.
Never,
she
never.
brought it up.
Are you hurting right now? Just
I don't
listening
know.
to it? He's like, oh, yeah.
You don't understand.
Oh, please. We could get into that whole conversation about how it hurts worse being kicked in the balls and giving birth.
Have you given birth?
No.
Then there you go.
I'll let you know when I do give birth. And
What about
hopefully
being
not for like
punched in
10
the
years.
boob?
That definitely doesn't hurt as worse as getting kicked in the
I don't know,
balls.
pretty big punch, maybe.
Have you been punched in the boob really hard?
Yeah.
I don't know, TMI, but I got hit in the twat so much one time when I was a kid that it bled and it hurt like hell. It was a banana boat bike seat, and I lived on a dirt road, and I hit a pothole a few times, and it just jammed down so hard, and it was not my period. I was a young girl, and it hurt. Phil, there you go.
All right.
How did you pee afterwards? Did it
I retract my statement.
I was sore. Like everything was tender.
To all women out there, I retract my statement.
I can't even imagine that. I took Soul Cycle one class, and I left with a bruised vagina for like a week.
Right?
I can't even imagine making it bleed.
I don't know how they don't do something with these bike seats after all these years. There's just no reason they have to be so uncomfortable and
Memory foam
dangerous.
pillows.
All right. The more we know.
The more you know.
Have I said this is my
balls.
favorite show yet recently?
Yeah, guys. Woo, okay, comment along with us about your inappropriate stories. Let's hear some
Sure.
stories from
Yeah.
you, since we always share so many of ours, and you might not want to hear them, but we're gonna keep telling you.
Yeah, let's do that, and then each week we can talk about the best one that we read.
I would love
we'll
that.
Share.
That'd be great. Yeah, you can comment on YouTube or tweet us, all that good stuff. Should we do some predictions of what we think is going to happen next week?
I guess we talked about Lip, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about him a little bit with his drinking.
Oh, what about the news?
Oh yeah.
I can't skip the news.
Well, let's do some news then.
There you go.
Phil, hit us off with some news.
All right. Well, we have a couple of pictures. By the way, if you just go to Instagram and type in hashtag Shameless Premiere, there's various pictures. And so we pulled a couple of them of tonight's premiere party. And so here's a couple of them for you guys. This is one that was kind of promoted. Go to the next one, Steve. This is Steve Howie with his elephant. You know where.
That must
borrowed
be
from
his
Phil?
dressing room. That he borrowed from Phil. Yes. Phil did.
We share the same tattoo.
Oh, yay.
It's the girls of Shameless. It's V, it's Svetlana, and of course Fiona. Then we have the Gallaghers kind of posing for a picture right there. All of them together. A couple more pictures of all the girls, and this is also
some
producers.
of the writers and producers.
Yeah, the producers right here. Go ahead to the next one. And okay, so Jeremy Allen White officially, as of tonight, has an Instagram.
Yay!
Now, not only does he have an Instagram, he's already got 23,000 followers.
Oh my God. That's awesome.
So it's Jeremy Allen White finally
Woohoo.
on Instagram. So definitely
Gotta go follow him.
get him to 50,000 by the next 5 minutes. So there you go. And there's a couple more pictures. There's Cameron Monaghan who plays Ian and whatnot. So definitely check it out.
Yeah, Jeremy Allen White was recently in an article, and I'm pretty sure it was, I might be wrong on this, Variety, but he was named one of the top 10 up-and-coming stars to watch for, which I thought was great because I think all of these actors are so good and don't always get the recognition that they deserve. And we've said this when I talked about the Emmys on one of our Emmys shows, that because this falls under the category of comedy, none of the dramatic roles on the show get any recognition, and it is very much a dramatic show as it is a comedic show. So yeah, I thought that was exciting to see him getting some recognition.
That's right.
Yeah. Do we have any other news?
That's all I got for today.
Okay, so now can we get into predictions?
I think we
All
can.
right.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV.
We are starting with you. Bonjour, Juliet.
Gosh.
Your
All right.
first prediction ever. Let's hear it.
I think Debbie's gonna get arrested. She's definitely spending a night in jail.
Do you think it's happening soon, or do you think she's got a couple episodes?
She has a couple episodes. Oh yeah, I don't know. Let her get in deep trouble. More credit card stuff, more stealing, more theft, child abuse. I think not that she's abusive, but I think it's gonna take a toll on her, and she's gonna be a little reckless because of it.
Okay.
Yeah, if Child Protective Services ever saw what the hell's going on.
Yeah, not good. Not good. Okay, good prediction. I like it. JJ.
Man. Well, I said one earlier. What did I say earlier? That Caleb was going to break
Ian's heart.
Yeah. Let me go to Phil. I got to think for a second.
Okay.
I don't have a big one yet.
Well, we see that Frank continues to build a wall in the house.
Yeah.
And so he's going to take over, which, we've got to find a way to just, he can still be part of the family and whatnot. We don't have to throw him into the river and kill him, but just, Frank, you got to go live somewhere else.
Get him a doghouse, a little doghouse in the
Oh, he
backyard.
lived outside for a little bit, didn't he? In
Yeah, we tried that.
Village. Yeah, that didn't work.
Okay, I remembered what mine
Yes,
was.
go for it.
It wasn't Caleb and Ian. It was that Dominique is going to break Carl's heart. And I think now that he has his new super penis, he's going to go crazy with getting like girls going to be lined up for BJ's. Like
This is... All
He's the
right.
champion. And I think actually that I was going with Phil on this one. I think he's going to get an infection. And I think something bad's going to happen to where, I hope there's no permanent damage. But
gonna fall off.
But it's just going to fall off, right? Something that he's going to regret, unfortunately. And then
Just like his cornrows.
I'm so glad those are gone.
Yeah.
He's so cute. And I think Lip's drinking is going to continuously get worse still. And I think it's not going to get worse until, of course, he gets a good internship or something. He's going to find some kind of job where he can make some contacts, and then somehow he'll
Show up
screw
drunk.
it up. Yeah, show up drunk or whatever to his interview maybe. And I think that was my biggest. I mean, I agree. Debbie's going to get in trouble at some point for credit card theft,
Yeah.
identity fraud.
For
That
sure.
baby's cute, by the way.
Yeah,
they
I
picked the
think so,
cutest
yeah.
little baby to be Franny. Oh,
Yeah,
God.
she is
Little babies. Does anyone else have any other comments before we...
Well, we did just comment that Liam is home alone a lot. Yeah. Just chilling at the house.
Yeah, he seems pretty content.
He's so cute though too. So
Always watching really inappropriate television shows, too.
Do you think he's ever gonna talk?
He had one line today about his lunch. When Fiona was giving him his lunch bag, he said something about his... about getting ready for lunch, or do you have my lunch? That was it. It was like a tiny little line.
Good for him.
yeah.
Guys, he's making more money than me just sitting on that couch. I'll be Liam.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty much it for this first episode. Lots to look forward to the rest of the season. Possibly, well, for sure, some special guests this season with us, but possibly one next week.
Yeah, Svetlana as a, we're
working on it. We won't promise anything, but we think she will be
Tweet
here
at her,
next
let her know she should come, and then she'll feel bad if she doesn't.
week. There you go.
Guilt trip them into coming in.
We're shameless. Why not?
We are shameless. JJ, tell everybody where they can find you on social media again. No, you do it.
You. All right. You can find me at JJ Jurgens on Twitter, or JJ.Jurgens on Instagram, and at my blog, tomgirl.tv.
You can find me on Instagram at Bonjour Juliet, and make sure to watch The Tomorrow Show on Mondays and Thursdays with Kevin Undergaro.
There you go.
There you go. Follow us here at AfterBuzz TV.
Phil.
Damn it, Phil. And I'm Hayley. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Hayley Clover. And don't forget to comment your stories, personal stories on YouTube. We want to read them, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.